Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'll be covering the second part of the story I covered earlier, and where we left off, our guy was definitely up to his eyeballs in drama and BS from his soon-to-be ex, and obviously, as you recall, she was going out at night on Friday or Saturday night, staying out all hours of the night, disrespecting him and all that, and it's getting old, and of course, he suspects, rightly so, something's up, but she's denying and denying and denying, and we're going to pick up where things left off. So he continues on his story, before things end better for him. He says, another week goes by. The next Friday, she goes out for drinks again. Smack! A third time you're allowing this, brother? I get that you're at a point that you just don't want to be around her anymore, but the disrespect, she knows she can get away with it. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and, wait for it, she's not there. Shocker. As I'm in the kitchen drinking my coffee and steam practically coming out of my ears, she comes in at 6:15 in the morning. Oh, okay, well last time was 4 a.m., now it's 6:15 in the morning. I stare at her with rage in my eyes, and she says, I think we should separate. No kidding. This was inevitable. She's doing you a favor. I ask why, and she says her friend Jessica thinks it's a good idea. Well, actually, I agree with Jessica. It is a good idea. I say to her, who the F is Jessica? And she says, my friend at work. I ask, how old is Jessica? And she says she's 20 years old. Well, Jessica is so wise in the world. Well, I agree with Jessica. They should separate. But the reasons are a little different. I ask, why the hell is a 40-year-old woman taking relationship advice from a 20-year-old? Discussions continue through the day, ending with us deciding to separate. She is still denying that anything is happening or has happened. Sure. Remember, guys, women don't end a sure thing unless they already have something else which they consider to be a sure thing in backup. There's always going to be backup one way or another. But again, man, I get you were pissed and everything, but dude, this was inevitable. You should be doing cartwheels across your kitchen as long as you don't kick over the kitchen table or the fine china or anything. This is music to your ears, it should have been, for goodness sake. You want to get rid of her. Well, Sunday morning comes, and she wants to talk again. Now she wants to see if we can work on this and stay together. Oh, how interesting. Is she bipolar or something here? Or guess what? Things aren't working out with her lover that she claims she doesn't have. I'm not sure, but I agree it's worth a try. Smack. Really, dude? I know you do it for the kids, but still. It'll be hard, but it's worth it for the sake of the kids. What about you? Your kids are obviously teenagers now. I know they're still special needs, and you haven't elaborated how special needs they are, but seriously, man. And you're watching me all this time. Well, you know I'd be smacking the bejesus out of you. I took a plane to British Airways over to England, or fucking Virgin Atlantic, or whatever, or Virgin Air, whatever you call Virgin, whatever airline. I'd be coming over smacking you in the pub for this. I already sacrificed everything at this point, so what do I have to lose? I don't know. Important, precious time in your life, your dignity. I tell her she needs to give up this pub life and be more present with her family, and she agrees. We'll see about that. Well, the week runs as normal, but I'm very anxious about the weekend as I feel it'll be my make or break moment for the family. I'm preoccupied at work thinking about how it will go and what we can do. I'm trying to come up with some fun things to do as a family and as a couple. Well, we didn't make it to the weekend. Thursday night comes along, and I get a message at 5 p.m. saying, just popped over the road for a drink. And I tell myself, this is going to work out. I can't freak out about this. She's just popping for a drink. Smack. You are deluding yourself, brother. This is like Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football. When Lucy holds the football, and Charlie Brown's, and she wants him to kick it. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about here, but I'm going to say it anyway. And she's like, come on, Charlie Brown, kick it. He's like, no, you're going to pull that thing away the second I go to kick it. No, I won't, says Lucy. So finally, she convinces Charlie to run over and kick the goddamn ball. And she pulls the football, and he falls on his ass. You're Charlie Brown, and your wife is that bitch-ass Lucy with the ball. Dude, come on here. Anyway, 7 o'clock rolls around. She's not back. I've heard nothing. I tell myself to chill out. If this is going to work, I can't freak out every time she goes out. Under these circumstances, yes, you can. 8 p.m. rolls around, and I'm repeating the message to myself in my head, just popping for a drink. 9 p.m. rolls around, nothing. 10, 11, and by this point I'm livid, I decide to call her at midnight. Again, Charlie Brown, she knows. She knows. Guys, there's a point that none of us can feel bad for you when you keep putting yourselves in these situations. She knows that there's no consequences. 12 o'clock, I call her, video call. She says she's so sorry, and she's waiting on an Uber. She'll be in 15 minutes. 12:30, nothing. 1 p.m., nothing. 1:30, nothing. At this point, I'm absolutely raging, pacing in my kitchen. I cannot remember a time in my life when I've been so angry. 2 of the worst hours of my life. Well, I get it, and she's an a-hole. But dude, first time, shame on them. Second time, shame on you. We're at like the 17th time here. I tell myself I'm not going to go to bed until this BIT walks through the next door, and I get answers. Well, 2:15, I video call again, and she doesn't answer until 4 o'clock. Picks up on the 5th call. She swears there's no cab coming there's a cab coming in 5 minutes. She gets in 15 minutes later, looks very guilty and drunk. Dude, I can't feel bad for you at this point. I can feel bad for a lot of things in your situation, but here, no. I don't want to wake the kids or the neighbors up, so I whisper, rage, argue with her gritted teeth for a few minutes. After some back and forth, she finally says, I like somebody else. No kidding. And I'm thinking, well, you know shit. But I calmly ask who, and she says, drum roll, Jessica. Oh, wife likes girls. Well, again, this should be music to your ears. Get rid of her. I say, Jessica, the 20-year-old bartender in the pub, and she says yes, and proceeds to information vomit the story of her and Jessica. It started 6 months ago while I was laid up, unable to move. When you were bed stricken because of your injuries, she's out there having an affair with a girl who's half her age. Great. Thanks, honey. After everything you've done. But again, dude, this should be a sign, an excuse for cartwheels to get rid of her. I don't say much, I just listen. It gets to 3:30 in the morning, and I'm saying I'm going to bed as I can't sleep my eyes open anymore. I can't keep my eyes open anymore. Next day, we get the kids ready and send them off to school and head off to work saying we'll talk in the evening. We talked and argued through Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. What's to argue about? It's over. Start the proceedings. Don't waste your time. It's heading that way anyway. I had to do the usual battle with the trickle truth. I knew it was lies, as the story she was telling me did not match the story she gave me Thursday night. She couldn't remember the conversation from Thursday night. Oh, how convenient. She tried telling me it only started recently, but when I corrected her with her own words, she went very quiet. I told her I only want the truth now and no more BS trickle truth. Okay, Lucy's going to get the football for Charlie Brown here because she knows there's no consequences. Who cares? Divorce her. She would continue to contradict herself, and I would correct her with her own words every time. I remember telling her that cheating on your husband while he was laid up with a bad back is like a man cheating on his pregnant wife. Pretty much. I agreed to stay in the house until Christmas for the children. I tell her not to mess with me about anything anymore. That I'm not going to sit here like a free babysitter while she's out living her best life. All I ask is for a little consideration. I don't know, guys. Place your bets. Is our guy here going to get a little consideration, even a scrap of consideration? I'm going to be putting my money down that ain't going to happen. The next few weeks were difficult. Hence, no consideration. I was mad at her for the relationship. I was mad about the 4-week breakup, and now how she was behaving after the breakup. She dived headfirst back into the party girl phase lifestyle with her new girlfriend, expecting me to look after the kids whenever she wanted to so she could go live her best life. Dude, again, you're watching me this whole time? I'm not flying to England, but if your brother's there, he can smack you upside the head for your past actions here. I know eventually this will end well, but God. She would ignore my messages and calls for hours, be out late during the week, getting home at 2:30 in the morning some nights. She would tell me she'd be back in a couple hours and going to be late every evening all day. I was astounded someone could be that callous and selfish. Well, dude, no consequences. And by the way, what about the kids? She's a horrible mother. Horrible wife, a horrible mother too. Work was stressful this time due to management restructure. I was on the verge of handing in my notice. Well, 2 weeks after the breakup, my friend died. She didn't care. I was sent home from work after receiving the bad news. I was in a state. When I messaged her to let her know, guess what? She went to the pub after work again and left me to deal with myself. While watching the kids, she got home at 11 o'clock that day. All these years, this guy Did everything he could for his family? Nope, nope. Would have made sense to end it early on to suffer this much. I felt trapped and abandoned my family home every time she went out. Take action. That's what you learn from me. You learn a lot of things from me you should have learned. And one is being a master of your own destiny. Go to the lawyer's office or the solicitor, whatever you call them over there in the UK. Things nearly got too much. Nearly. I was never considering self-deleting, but I understood why some people did. No, that's not the answer, dude. Come on. I understood how this could be too much for some people to deal with. I was not in a good place. I ended up blowing up at her just before Christmas. I was on the verge of a breakdown. I called her and told her she didn't come back within the hour. I was packing up and walking out. Well, there's an idea. I mean, you can't abandon the kids, but still. I absolutely launched into her when she got in. She looked like she was about to drop dead, and it was so gaunt. I questioned whether she wanted to be a mother, if she was trying to get fired, to try to give herself a heart attack. How many people was she lying to? I was furious, but still worried about my kid's mother. She turned and went to bed. We talked calmly the next day. She seemed to understand. No, she doesn't. She's just messing with you. Things seemed to improve. No, they didn't. We agreed that we would stay in for New Year's with the kids, and it would not be fair to whoever had to stay in. But then on New Year's Eve, she says I wasn't allowed to go out. And I have to remind her we both agreed to it and that no one is stopping her. She says, well, it feels like I'm not allowed. It's like dealing with a stroppy teenager. I ask who she has said that to. How many people have you told that you're not going out because I won't let you? And she stays quiet. See, after everything she's done, she's painting the picture, controlling the narrative, making our guy to be the bad guy. This is why you got to control the narrative. And divorce an asshole like this a long time ago. I have been beyond reasonable by this point, and she still has to make herself the victim by making me out to be the arsehole. I'm so curious what story she told her colleagues and friends about the breakup. She is no way the victim of the story. She's the victim of her own ego. How much did she control the narrative? I don't really care. I don't know these people, never will. Well, you can't control those people, but you can control the narrative with the people in your life, like your friends and your family and all that, and even hers. I was devastated, not at losing her, but at the loss of my family. I'd given up everything I had trying to hold together. You go back over all the things and times you compromised, all the times you let shit go, and it hurts because it was a waste. Well, dude, just because you wasted so many years and energy and time and money and all that doesn't mean that the rest of your life has to go this way, but you have to have the courage and the strength to get off the pot and deal with this. Like the frog that you heat up slowly in hot water, you don't realize how much you have given up. It's like a poker game before you realize that you bet all your chips. You can't leave the table, and your only hope is a winning hand. I didn't want her back. I realized I had actually wanted her for a long time. Why would you? How could you possibly want this woman? Besides, she prefers sushi to sausage. Regardless, she's horrible. But I get you did it for the kids and their special needs and all that, but still. Her actions have made her unworthy of me. She never gets me again, ever done with her. Well, good to hear. She tried to change her story once again, but I didn't care. All that proved to me was that even when she swears she's telling the truth, she's probably not. She's a pathological liar, dude, and an a-hole, or an arsehole, as you say over there. I moved to a place around the corner so I can still be involved with the kids' day-to-day lives. Thank God. Thank God, brother. I knew you could do it. I've not gone more than 2 days without seeing them. They have hardly noticed a difference as I'm still around so much. I will not allow my relationship breakup to take them away from me. Good. You're doing what you got to do. Now, it would have been nice if you'd done this a long time ago. It took me nearly a year and a half to get over it. My mind kept throwing old memories at me, and each one hurt me a little bit more. I didn't truly understand until I went all the way back to when we started dating. That's when I realized the mistakes I'd made, and the person I actually married was not the person I thought I married. They never are, you know? And that's great and all. She was all pursuing you when you were young, and then later on wanted to be the relationship. Great. But how'd that work out? And the constant being the happy wife, happy life husband and doing all the wrong things. And there was a point you were watching me and still doing this stuff, dude. And I know a lot of this happened before there was YouTube and R-Pill and all that stuff, but sometimes it comes down to common sense. But if you're a type of guy that everybody you know behaves this way, then you don't know any better. But the good thing is, man, now you're in a place that you can start anew. I see now all the BS and manipulation, the lies, and the cheating. Well, hindsight's 20/20. I was trying to hold onto a memory of what my marriage was that did not exist. She's not yours, it's just your turn. It hurts to realize it meant more to you than it did to them. Yeah. The problem is a lot of guys just can't let go. And they hold on to what they think she is, but not what she really is. So many red flags missed because I didn't know at the time or I didn't want to see them. I think you didn't want to see them. I'm no longer sad, just resentful about what I allowed myself to be and put through. Well, dude, again, you can't change the past, but you can use it to learn from. And other guys can learn from your story, even though a lot of guys watching this are pulling their hair out of frustration. I'm fine now. Life is good. Work is good. My brother and bros have been keeping me on point, pushing me to exercise, stay active, and social. Good for you. I'm glad you're hanging out with them and keeping yourself in shape. It ain't over. I know you're in your mid-40s or so. Plenty of time left. I get on fine with my ex now. No issues, no arguments. She seems to be behaving herself. Let's see how long this lasts. So obviously your children live with her. And that's terrible. It's turned out that way, but maybe since I'm guessing they're mid to late teenagers, eventually they'll be able to live with you. Thank you for all you do, SSM. In a world where any masculinity is branded toxic, it's important to have someone that offers positive advice to men, women out there. If I may, give a shout out to my Harley-riding longtime YouTube commenter brother, Okie Mail, and anyone who gets involved in the SSM comment section. See you all in the comment section. Stay strong, brothers and 4% sisters. And he says his name, Immortal Technique. Well, sir, that was quite the story, quite the journey, and my hand's sore now from all the smacks, but I'm glad eventually you end it with her. She made it pretty darn easy for you to end it with her. And remember, that's what they do. They'll keep messing with the guy, hoping that he'll end it, and then they can blame him for ending it. But regardless, it's done. You're divorced. Thank God. End the story. And you're moving on. And take it one day at a time. And be there for your kids. But again, brother, this all was inevitable. You could have done this years ago, right? And saved yourself so much misery. So for all the guys watching this right now, let's learn something if you're still sticking around to this point. That if it's that bad, figure out a way to get out of it. You know, I get and commend the guys who stayed for the kids or say I'm going to get killed in the child support and alimony and all that, but find a way, you know, some way, somehow. It's not worth killing yourself over and going through that hell. And some guys literally end themselves because it's that bad, you know. And remember something also for your children. Your kids know what's going on. They know it's bad between mom and dad. And God forbid, do you want your kids to end up in a relationship just like that one day? The odds are it's going to happen. So do it for them. Break up so they can at least be part of the time living in a sane household that you're living in, and you're setting a good example. You know? But what's done is done. So I'm glad in the end you're free and you get a second chance at life. And if you get any other relationships, for God's sakes, don't make the same mistakes. And by the way, don't ever get married again because why would you? Why would you get married again after that? I got to point that out because sometimes guys think that they get their second chance at life and want to get things right. Why? You already have kids. There's no point in getting married ever again. So don't you dare. Otherwise, I will fly to England in Virgin Atlantic or British Airways and track you down in your pub, and I'm coming after you. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And if you like the video, share with your friends and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.